Welcome back to the show. Here's the question of the day. Is there a correlation between content and real estate contracts? To help us unpack that, I've got Jen Dillard and I got Chris Kwon, who have been around me for a long time, who've been putting out a lot of content. And we had a totally different idea planned for the show, but I thought it would be an interesting thing to unpack. So Chris, for the person that doesn't know who you are, this is the second time on the show. Mm-hmm. Give them some context, hold back all of your enthusiasm.
Okay, so my name is Chris Kwon. I am a team leader in a group. Irvine, California is where we're located.
Yep.
Been there pretty much my entire life.
Yes.
And it's a little bit new. The team building is a little bit new for me. I've been in the business for about 12 years.
Yeah.
And so building a team has been a very interesting experience. While still running my own business.
Right.
Yeah. And creating content and being a father and all sorts of stuff. So I've got 4 full-time jobs right now and it's great.
I love it. So we're going to talk about that. So Jen Dillard, tell them where you're from and how long in the business.
I live in Hood River, Oregon. I moved there 6 years ago, started my team 5 years ago. And I got my license in 2007. Got out of it in 2008, jumped back into it in 2016, and built my team in 2018.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So let's just call it for what it is. Is there a correlation between producing content and getting signed contracts? Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes or no?
There is now.
Okay. So there is now. So let's just unpack this. How long have you guys been producing contracts? It's fine. Content. How long have you been doing content? And when did it first start to happen?
I would say in 2015 is when we started to create content. Video
so
was
8 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of right around the time you were like, hey, maybe you guys should start to make some videos. I think it's coming around the corner. And then next year it was like, guys, it's coming here. It's going to be here really soon.
Yes.
And so at that time I was with a brokerage where the guy was just all about video.
Yes.
People thought he was nuts. He was doing these lifestyle videos and they were amazing to me as like a newer agent. But I was like, okay, cool. Like this seems like kind of techie. This seems kind of new. Like this is the direction that I want to go in.
Yeah.
And that was producing great results for him.
Yes.
And creating a lot of awareness in an industry where video was like, who's using video, right?
Yes.
It was photos. Maybe you had some really nice photos, but that was it.
Some good listing descriptions.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So 2015 you started, but when did you start to experience results? When did you start saying that client, that check, that deal, that referral from another agent or whatever came directly from?
No, so we started getting results right away, but not from like social media, not from like other agents, not from like, it was from the client. The client was like, oh, this is very interesting.
Yes.
And it was just another way for us to market the home, do something a little bit extra that everybody else wasn't doing. And it was a confidence builder for them because they're like, look, these people are doing everything they can to sell the property. Mm-hmm. And that opportunity led to some other stuff, but you didn't see it right away. It wasn't until probably, it's 2021 was where a lot of the agent referrals started to come in. And like we started to build this kind of like media hub and created more of a personal brand. And that's where all these like agent referrals were coming from. And I was like, wait, you can get business from other agents? I thought this was our competition. Like, why are they sending me business? But it just opened up a whole different source of business for me that I was like, wow, I could create a sustainable business pillar from this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's bounce. So Jen, same question. Yeah. 6 years in the business, 5 years with your team now. When did you first start producing content?
So I was super hesitant, like so many people, about putting getting out there and doing videos. So like, I hate the way I look, I hate the way I sound, blah, blah, blah. So my coach really helped me to realize that it wasn't about me, it was about the content that I was putting out. Yeah. And so as I got more comfortable, really around 2020, I started to put out more video. And then I started to roll out the I See You Everywhere campaign. Yeah. And I think in conjunction with doing those other areas of marketing in addition to the video, that's when I really saw it take off.
Yeah, community, geographic farming events, all the stuff. And this is sort of the overlay where they start saying, God, I just see you everywhere.
I see you everywhere. And when I really knew that it was working was I was at the grocery store and I ran into this older woman and she said, "Oh my gosh, you're Jen Dillard. I see you all over the internet." And I was like, hold on, I'm in real estate. I had to make everybody realize. Yeah.
So yours sounded like it happened faster. For context, I have been telling people they should shoot videos since 2007.
Oh.
so all of a sudden in 2015.
Well, I started coaching around that time, so I didn't
because some of my longtime listeners are like, he only started that in 2015. I remember like 2007, he's like, oh my goodness, YouTube. Right? Yeah. So yours took a little longer, and then you got this narrow niche called agent referrals. Yours seemed to have happened a little faster. Do you think that was because of the pandemic?
Yes.
Do you think because there was more screen time? Okay. And like, why were other agents around the country watching your content?
No, I mean, well, I would. One piece of information was that I had a hard time breaking into a farm.
Okay.
From the time that I started to, let's say, 2020.
Yes.
Really difficult. I did mailers, door droppings, I did door knocking, I did events. I just needed another layer for me to get in front of these people.
Yes.
And the social media part of that was able to unlock that. So all of a sudden I started getting calls from like, hey, I see you on YouTube, I see you on social media. One opportunity was just enough for me to be able to carry that over into a different opportunity because I knew exactly how to generate business around business.
Yes.
I just couldn't get into this farm for whatever reason.
Right.
Because there was already players in there and I was just like, look, I'm knocking, I'm here, use me, and I'll make sure that you have a great experience. And finally, when I got that opportunity, it would like snowball.
Well, what a great way to get in front of so many people. I mean, you can get in front of so many people in so quickly.
Yeah. So let's play a game. I drop the two of you off tomorrow in a different part of the country, and you're licensed, and you're on a team, so you have some resources around you to do the things you have to do. But I say, okay, now what is your social video strategy going forward? And you're very technical. You do a lot of your own editing and like, but like half the fun of watching your videos was knowing that like I knew he was doing it, and like when your wife was in it, your kids were in it, or it was just you like nerding out on some equipment, right? There was something to that because it showed another side of you. So I don't know if that would be your same strategy. I don't know what your strategy would be, but I just reversed you. You're now in Hood, Oregon. You're now in Irvine, California. I want to know very specifically how much content on what platforms, talking about what, how do you post it, what SEO strategies do you have? Go super nerdy deep with me. Okay. Whoever wants to go first.
Of course. He's like you.
Ladies first.
I would really focus on community and focus on what are the best restaurants in Irvine, what are the best, where to shop for your dog, where to shop for your kids, what are some fun things to do with the kids on the weekends and all of that kind of content. And then I would put it on long form, Instagram, YouTube.
Okay, so back up. So it's 2023, so I'm going to go to ChatGPT and say I live in Irvine, California. Yeah. I'm how old?
38.
38? You have to like swallow it to say that out loud?
You're not supposed to ask a woman her age, Tom.
I do. I'm 38 years old. My typical client is, I love to go into ChatGPT and start with, my most ideal customer is XYZ ABC 1 2 3. Let's make that my avatar. Now, tell me in the city of Irvine, California and surrounding, what are all the stores, shopping, experiences, places they go, and it just goes, it just makes up an entire list for me. I've got my avatar, and I've got all the places where, the internet tells me that they go.
Right.
How do I prioritize what should be first, what should be second? And you said long form, then clips. I don't understand what either of those mean. I'm an amateur. What are you talking about? How do you prioritize it? And where do I start first? And go very granular with me.
Well, I think that you prioritize it based off of what for me, I would say my target client is probably somebody similar to myself. So what would I want if I was moving to the area or living in the area? What would I want to know?
Want or need.
Want or need. Okay. And so I would start with those as the first, topics of interest. Okay. And then long form, meaning 5 minutes. I would 5 minutes of diving deep into, maybe an interview with a particular restaurant owner or, digging in deep into a conversation. And then short form would be 60 seconds, a minute
Okay. Reels, Insta,
Insta,
YouTube
quick,
Shorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick highlight.
Okay. Cool. Chris, same question. And you can't edit your own stuff.
No,
How do you get it done?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say?
What would be
your
Hood River? What would be your attack?
So if you were to drop me into Hood River and I was already a real estate agent, but I was just in a new area, I already have systems, I already have experience.
Yes.
I don't need to work on that stuff.
Yes.
So I would study the MLS as much as I could to understand where the largest portion of the buyer or the seller segment is.
Yes.
Price point wise, location, and I would figure where all that stuff is, and I would go super technical on trying to figure out how to get in front of those people. The content portion of it would be, I'd be coming from more of an authentic type of situation where I'd be like, I would certainly tell people I am new to the area. I'm the new person in town. I'm going to document everything. And I believe it's so important for every single agent that's even new to the business to know the business, right? So I already know how to sell real estate, but the only thing I don't know is the inventory, the communities, the people. So I need to document every single portion of that. So if I were to go and look at, there was a guy I used to work with at a different company. His thing to tell clients was that he would preview more properties than any other person in the market.
Yes.
And when he would go into listing appointments, he would say, I know every single house that is on the market right now because I go and preview them.
Yes.
And so his knowledge of the inventory and the market and the community was so high, and there was such a big gap between him and everybody else that if I were to do that in a market and document it and just show everybody that, look, I am a seasoned agent in a new market. I'm here to bring you life and options that you don't have in this market here.
Right.
No offense to anybody that's here,
Yeah.
but I'm going to be the new flavor. I'm the new kid in town.
Yes.
And if I could document that and show that, and where you put that, you could put it in so many different places. You could put it in print. You can put it on a QR code. You can put it on YouTube, Reels, anything you want. I will put it
Blogs.
everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
Yeah, you can repurpose it everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere,
Yes.
right? Use AI to take that video, to create a script, put it in an email newsletter or in like a blog or something.
Yeah.
But I already have that there. I have a team to do that.
Yes.
So it's not like I'm doing that myself.
Yes.
I no longer am editing my own videos anymore. Maybe some small stuff here and there for fun, but I have that team there to create all the videos and the content. So if you don't have that, then maybe you focus on that as well. But from a content standpoint, that's exactly how strategically I would do it in a new market.
You know what I love about it? Polar opposites, but the same thing, right? Polar opposites in that, hey, I'm going to give them everything they want, everything you need to know about Irvine, California, from the standpoint of kids, schools, life, shopping, experiences, restaurants, all that stuff. Okay, at the end of the day, we're watching videos and we're like, do I understand her? Do I know her? Do I like her? Do I trust her? Do I know her? Do I like her? Do I trust her? Because everybody's sending me direct mail. Some people are doing phone calls. Some people are doing geographic farm. Some, like almost like those are like table stakes today, and then video becomes the overlay. So here's what I wrote down to add for our listener. I would go to the moving data and I would figure out exactly who and where people are moving from to Irvine, to Hood River, right? Are they moving from one part of Irvine to another? Are they coming from another part of the country because of the schools and the lifestyle or whatever it is? So I'm going to get the moving truck data first and foremost. Then I'm going to go to answerthepublic.com and I'm going to just type in Irvine real estate, and it's going to tell me every question that is on the minds of consumers. And then I'm going to create quality content answering every one of those questions. Do you wonder why the schools in Irvine are, well, 3 reasons why the restaurants and Hood River, like I'm just going to answer every question on that Answer the Public site, which is bananas. You got to get the paid subscription. No, I don't know the company, but damn, I wish I did. If you guys raise money and you're watching this, call me. Then I'm going to create a series of videos for YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, but mostly for YouTube, following the theme of moving from X to Y, moving to Irvine, California, moving to Hood River, 3 things you need to know. Moving to Irvine, and I would literally just have a series of videos, moving to Irvine, moving to Irvine, moving to Irvine, X. Whatever the X is almost doesn't make a difference, but when people go and do a search, they're going to see over and over again, moving to Hood River. And this is where like content to contracts, it's not going to be like 5 videos. It's going to be like 75 videos. 75 videos that I just, every possible reason to move to Hood River, every possible reason to moving to Oregon, haven't thought about Hood River yet. Like I'd even have that inside there.
Would you get the information on moving from how many walks or?
So How Many Walks is outdated. So until they open it up again, so now every one of the moving truck companies publishes every year their annual stats, and you kind of get a sense of like where they're coming from and where they're going. But the pandemic sort of changed everything in terms of the landscape of where people are moving to and from. And I believe How Many Walks is still like in 2019.
Yeah.
Right. So please, if you're watching, update it because it's a banana site.
Please.
But I would use that formula. And I think at this point, I go back to volume. And I want to get everybody's, your input on this. When I look at some people's Insta channels, some people's YouTube channels, and people ask me like, how did you go from 35,000 views or 35,000 subscribers to like over 500,000 subscribers? The answer is only one thing: volume. I gave the beast, YouTube, what it wanted: daily content, daily content, daily content, daily content. So knowing that, what's your thesis today? Like, let's take YouTube and Instagram being two of the biggest, most popular sites. How many times are you feeding Insta posts? How many times are you doing reels? And how many stories are you doing in a typical day or week? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. So it's tough because as there's more content creators in the space now, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that sort of stuff, the numbers are going up, right?
Yes.
So in order to keep up with the numbers that you need to put out, you need to have a designated team to help you with that.
Yes.
So if you have a goal of like one time per day, that was probably good in like 2019.
Right.
But like 2023, 2024, that one piece needs to be 10 pieces per day, right? It could be, so something crazy like that.
Yeah. But let's talk about that. Unpack. Someone's thinking, oh my God, like 10 posts a day, or 2 to 3 posts an evening, a midday, an evening, morning, whatever, and then a bunch of stories. Like unpack.
It's layers. I think it's important to be like, if you want to be that, if your goal is to be in front of be everywhere all at once, then you need to go to the other platforms that not everybody else is on, right? So I know that I'm majority on Instagram, but there may be somebody who might be on Twitter.
Twitter's killing it right now.
Twitter's
killing it right now. Yes.
Wow. So like going to some of those other platforms and repurposing the content there so that those type of people can actually see you is going to be important, right?
So when you say 10 a day, you mean like it could be the same thing, post 10 times a day on all the different platforms, including Insta as a post and maybe Insta as a story, and then Facebook as a post, and then Facebook as a story, one piece 4 times?
In an ideal world, if you could get them all different on all different platforms on a single day, that doesn't mean that you can't take a piece of content that you used a week ago from a different platform and put it on a platform. Yeah. But in an ideal world, that's what I would do.
Yes.
That's really difficult to do.
It is.
You gotta have a team.
You do.
You gotta have a team. You have
a team. I have to thank my team.
But if you don't have a team, you can still put out a lot of content. You don't need, you don't have to have a dedicated media team. I don't want people to think that they have to have that in order to put out content. I mean, my strategy is a bit different. I post 5 times a week. I have a reel every day.
Yes.
And then I always have a story. I make sure I always have a story up. So that's my strategy and it works for me. And I make sure I repurpose that content on platforms that I care to post on.
Yeah.
But I'm not a post 10 times a day. It's just not something that it interests me to do. But if I had,
is it right or wrong?
If I had, totally, it's working for me. Everything's continuing to grow. And also, what's so cool about video is you don't have to have a videographer. You can shoot. Our iPhones are amazing. You can shoot with an iPhone. So there's really no excuse for not putting out content because it's so scalable.
Yes. So one of the things we're going to talk about at the summit this year is all the various AI tools that can help speed the process up, make things faster, make things better. Like even just mentioning just a couple of these sites, even though they're not AI, some of them are powered by AI. What are you guys using today? I'm going to assume ChatGPT, but if you tell me ChatGPT, tell me a prompt or two that you're using that you're finding to make the output of ChatGPT more effective.
One that I've used recently is just this, I am a 38-year-old female real estate agent in Hood River, Oregon. My target audience is this. What are 5 Instagram topics that I could post about that would be relevant to my audience? And it populated, or headlines. It was headlines that I asked for. Right. And it populated. It was perfect. So you have to be very specific with
Exactly.
ChatGPT. You can't just say like, I want to post something on Instagram.
What do you recommend?
What do you recommend? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be very specific about what it is that you're looking for. I know I'm looking at you like I'm telling you, you know.
But I love it because the prompt is, you know, I'm Jen Dillard. I'm a real estate agent in Hood River. I sell this many homes. My average sales price is this. My typical client is that, right? I want to attract more people like this and people that they know as well. What advice do you have around 10 pieces of content? The more it's like the detailed question is the whole key. That's why prompts are just so huge right now. Other prompts that you're using, because I know you're using ChatGPT.
I mean, I think the missing piece is your experience as the user, the end user. So like, certainly you can be like, hey, write me a paragraph about this topic, but inserting some of the experience that you have. It could be about a specific community. It could be about the person. It could be about a way that somebody says it. So if I said, hey, I want this piece to be in a speech from like Tom Ferry or whatever. And you can also have it analyze web pages too. So you can say, hey, take this web page and rewrite it in a way that this web page is describing it. I've used it recently on a listing presentation. It is amazing with language translation. Really, really good. I take that piece of content and I'd be like, I take it to my friends and I'm like, hey, read this. Does this sound correct? And they're like, this is really good, actually.
Have you guys seen Synthesizio?
Yes.
Okay, I am obsessed. I think that the next iteration of this site, and if I'm spelling it wrong, just type in what you think synthesizio.io is, and Google will say, did you mean? And it's that one. So currently what they do is they enable people that are uncomfortable or don't want to shoot video or with like evergreen content from someone named Sarah or Lucy or Phyllis on their team, where literally you can say, here is the script, and then you can pick from like 140 different faces, essentially avatars, right? Robot human beings. And then I think it's like 200 languages. So you can literally say, here is my 30 days to close my escrow in Irvine, but I want the entire thing in Mandarin, right? And you can have, Phyllis or Phil, whoever you want, this avatar who is just in perfect, Chinese, bing, 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 everything you need to know, right? Like I am so obsessed with that site.
Amazing.
Because too many people say to me, I just can't get in front of the camera. I just can't do it. And I say, well, then
you would get that a lot still.
I still get it. It is remarkable to me. And I have empathy for that person.
Sure.
They have a story inside their head. So like at this point in my career, I'm like, hey, I got it. Here's a better solution. Yeah. Can you write?
Yeah.
If you can write a script and if you can't, ChatGPT can write it for you. You can still do all the questions, all the answers, and you can say, yeah, I have this full-time gal. Her name is Martha, and she does most of my content for me. And Martha is just synthesizio.com, write the script, and in perfect, move the body, the lips are moving on time. I mean, it's bananas. The next evolution of that is going to be, though, you're going to take a photo of yourself, and like, here's the camera, and you're going to do this, and then it's going to be you.
Well, there's a program now where it's actually, I think it's on captions on the app.
Yes.
Where you can actually look at it. You can be reading a script of a scene,
Your
and the eyes are actually on the camera while you're looking down here. And
have you seen that yet on the iPhone? It is bananas.
It's so weird. And it looks so good.
Yes.
It looks so good.
So, and I bet by the time that this gets released in the next couple of days, someone's going to say, hey, that site already exists. It just came out. Have you looked at GPTE.ai, right? GPTE.ai. It is basically every new AI platform available. You just go in and search language, voice, videography, like anything you want. Someone is already basically building something around that. We're going to unpack all that at the summit this year. I'm super fired up. I think there's going to be, I think about like Ben Lawless. So Ben, I think Ben is confirmed. I hope Ben is confirmed, so I'm talking about it right now. Ben is a killer agent from Chicago. He did a talk for me at the Roadmap event recently. And basically the talk was, as my video scales, so do my sales, right? So the more videos he's producing, so he's realizing, okay, so I'm selling, 100 plus homes a year. I'm doing 100 plus videos a year. And he started like kind of 2019, like he's new to this. But I think it's going to be interesting to watch the degree of separation between those that just say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be resourceful, whether I'm going to just get myself on the camera and just go for it, or I'm going to outsource to another solution. But I think there's going to become an even greater degree of separation between people that can build their brand, create all this trust, do it in a scalable way, And others, they're not going to be, remember like Gary Vaynerchuk in like 2008 was at one of my events. He's like, if you're not on social, you're going to be out of business. I love you, Gary, but I think that was inaccurate, right? But I would make the argument, if you're not creating content at scale today, it doesn't mean you're going to be out of the business. It's just going to be harder for people to find you.
It is. It's just all about being top of mind.
Yes.
It really is. And it's, I don't know, I love the ability to, like I said, reach so many people so quickly.
Yes. All right. Closing thoughts on content to contracts.
Yeah, I mean, content is, I feel like it's the first new step, right? Where I think for many years we were pushing video to expose yourself, create personal brand. But it's interesting to see where the industry has gone, because it was so driven on company brand.
Yes.
Now it's very much driven on personal brand.
Yeah.
And the personal brand, if you have a very strong personal brand, it could be so much bigger and larger than a company's brand.
For sure.
So now all of a sudden the association with being with a specific company because of what they offer, it's not that important because you have a big personal brand.
All my CEOs watching this, he said that, not me.
I believe it. It's true.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
it is something that every CEO around the world, every owner of a company around the world has figured out. Like, they've got to match the company brand, the company voice, just as much as the agent. Sorry to interrupt.
well, I mean, not some match, but you reinforce it, right? Because I think that's how you retain agents. Totally different topic.
Yeah.
But I do believe that the content is empowering agents to create more of a brand for themselves, which allows them to create opportunities. Opportunities leads to contracts. So it's just it's just the first step in the evolution of where I think the industry is going. And I like it.
Yeah, I love it.
I like it.
Jen, closing thoughts?
I think a lot of the reason that people don't put out content is because they don't know what to say or they don't know what to put out. But if you are in real estate and you have experiences, obviously if you're in real estate, you have experiences. So what I like to do is just, I put out what I want more of. And for me right now, I want more sellers. And so I make sure to put out content that's directed towards sellers and using the dog whistle, as Jason likes to call it, and saying, I recently met with a seller and they were experiencing this. And that's really what gets me the most listings is because people can relate to it.
Yeah, they go, oh, she's talking directly to me.
Exactly.
Right. So give us the script one more time.
I was recently meeting with a seller and they had previously been with a different real estate agent and they asked me what I would do differently if I were to list their home. Here are the 3 things that I told them that I would do differently if I were to market their home.
Have you ever taken that content, turned it into a more animated to show like before and after photos, to show, maybe the way without obviously blocking out the agent's name, not doing anything with ethics. And I mean, obviously like we're all good people. So, but to be able to show like before and after, right? So it's not just saying, hey, I would do better photography as an example, but the photography looked like this. We made it look like this. Right, the staging hit, and then we did this.
I've done it with agent's photos, but I do definitely it wasn't staged.
Not agents, but you.
Now we staged it, and it looks like this. Definitely.
Yeah, just to be clear.
Case studies.
Yeah, but to show the difference, if you can, without breaking any ethics violations, ever. Okay, so that was really cool, guys. I really appreciate you both just jumping on the show. If you have not made a reservation for this year's Success Summit, they're both going to be there. You should come and hang out.
My favorite event.
You've been 7 times, I'm guessing.
I've been every year.
So 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Are you going on like 5?
5 or 6?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So
love it.
It's our 20-year anniversary. That doesn't mean anything to you other than like I've just been doing this for a long time. But I promise you, if you want to get on the cutting edge of AI, you want to be more competitive, you want to basically be handed, you guys don't even know this, I'm going to hand you 6 playbooks, right? So like we did last year, the $1 billion playbook with like 15 of the best marketing strategies for listing attraction.
Still use it all the time.
We're doing that, but then everybody's best listing presentations, then everybody's best referral drivers, then everybody's best social strategies, then everybody's best organizational admin operations manuals, and then 1 just on the digital brand. So 6 different playbooks is about 72 different case studies from our clients. And my goal is very simple. I don't want people asking how anymore, right? If I can answer all the how for you, and the only question is, what do you want? What do you want? Because here's the how. It's just, what do you want? And then a little bit of how do we now personalize this to you?
Then get
How
to
do we
work.
go from this is Chris's plan to this is Jen's plan, rip off and duplicate. Cut his head off, put your head on, and get to work. So I hope you make a reservation. If you haven't done so, do it right away. Thank you guys. Thank you. We got a conference going on downstairs. We should race back down there. We'll see you on the next show.